I realized something. Every time I have a negative thought, or, some semblance of anger, I realize the best thing to do is to distract myself. If I'm talking with someone, I'm distracting myself. I think when I start, I think when I took my leave of absence. Wow, I cannot speak. When I took my leave of absence from my employer, um, was a good chunk of time where I was doing nothing, and I thought it was gonna help, but um, I wasn't distracting myself enough. So then I got a job working as a server, and that distracted me enough to where I really was kind of getting better. But then I also realized that some serious stressors, like trying to figure out insurance for my leave of absence, triggered me to break out of that, cycle of healing. So any major stressor, like dealing with the insurance or dealing with job hunting, I think things like those really damage the cycle of healing. So I need to just find a way to distract myself. And I figure, well, guess what better way to distract myself than to make videos and just talk to everyone. Um, I guess that's the realization that I had, is I can distract myself by just talking. And I guess even though it might seem crazy, even if I'm talking to myself, it's better than spiraling out of control and becoming heavily depressed and deeper and deeper in my anger. So even if I don't have anyone to talk to, I might as well just make a video and someone will eventually see this. And technically, then I am talking to someone. But, granted, there's definitely a way to go. But I also feel like me switching my medication today had some sort of effect. I felt somewhat calm all day, even when we got a little busy at work, which that almost never happens. So, um, right now, I am taking 150 milligrams of lithium, along with 150 milligrams of Wellbutrin, and 2 milligrams of Abilify. The only reason I'm taking the lithium still is so I can wean off of it for about a week, and in the hopes that it won't cause a sudden drastic increase in suicidal ideations, because apparently, while I was on lithium, at first it seemed to help, but then all of a sudden the drug took full effect, and my suicidal ideations were back with a vengeance. And I was getting to the point where I was actually in trances, and I had that urge while I was in that trance. It's almost like you stare over the edge of a cliff and you just have that urge to jump, and it really, really gets close, and then you kind of snap out of it. That's kind of what it felt like. But there was some improvement today, definitely. But I also was surprised to figure out that a coworker of mine, she has bipolar. And some of the things she describes sounds pretty similar to what I have, like being very irritable easily, agitated over minor things that should be just nothing. And the fact that there are different types of bipolar. There's the manic one. For me, I don't think I'm manic, although that's just my opinion, because there will be times where I'll sleep normally, and then there will be a good chunk of times where I'll only sleep a few hours, and I won't feel any different from both cases. So I'm not bursting with energy, but I am at my normal operating level, even if I only get like 3 hours of sleep. So, but that doesn't occur all the time. It occurs somewhat cyclically. And, maybe that's a sign. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting to know that, there are a lot of us out there that do have a mental health issue, and we just don't even know it. I know I have several at least. And, I know my ex has trauma from her past, so that can have an effect. I'm obviously not going to say what, because it's not my business to say. Anyway, it was just kind of nice to know that I really wasn't alone in terms of the mentality. Like, first there was my cousin, and now there's this coworker of mine, and you know, hell, even there was even an Uber driver I talked to, and he's depressed. I mean, hell, he's in a worse place, I feel. But yeah, he's still going. He's doing the Uber as a way to distract himself. So maybe this is just my way to distract myself, you know. So, I guess one thing to talk about, you know, I guess if you watch some of the previous videos, you know I like to weightlift, you know I like to draw, you know, what else do I like to do? Well, I like to collect Legos. I'm definitely into collecting Star Wars Legos, but I'm branching out to, you know, Marvel and, you know, movie sets, like Lord of the Rings or Indiana Jones Lego sets. So that's a hobby of mine that I enjoy. Been doing it since, you know, I was a kid, but, you know, now I'm actually collecting the Legos. Some of them to build, some of them to keep in a box until I feel like it's time to maybe build them or part ways with them if I don't feel like building them. So, you know, I enjoy Legos. I used to play video games, but, you know, nowadays I feel like most games are incomplete or just broken or not even really that entertaining. And, you know, there's a lot of microtransactions in video games. It's like, I paid $70 for one game. You know, maybe I should get a set amount of data that I can go through and cycle through, like the story mode and whatever modes you get. You know, if I want to like add more to the story, then okay, yeah, you know, you buy a DLC, fine. Because maybe the developers decided, oh, let me extend the story. So, you know, if you want something new, but you still want the same game, technically speaking, then you can just buy the DLC. Also, apologies if I'm incoherent at times because I am actually high. I took an edible, so just to help me sleep. Hopefully, so I can sleep the full 8 hours that I need. But so anyway, but yeah, I don't play video games much anymore. Usually, I play the same games on repeat, so I can only do games for so long until I just decide it's not worth it. And I kind of reached that point. I might wait for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out. I think waiting a few months to see what the consensus is, then I'll just go ahead and buy the game. Maybe also another Borderlands game if they actually gave a conclusion to the story. Because, you know, it's a great series and all, but we're starting to see that it's starting to fall flat when it comes to the storytelling. So, you know, maybe it's time to wrap up the storyline. That's just my opinion. I honestly thought the third Borderlands was actually divulge more about, you know, the origins of the vaults and, you know, where they came from and then the alien civilization that guarded them or created them. You know, they didn't really go that route, so that was disappointing. They had an opportunity and they squandered it. But maybe we'll see it again for the last game. Who knows? But I'm not getting any new game consoles, you know, because personally speaking, I believe if you play the older game console, then, you know, any new video games that come out should have some sort of backwards compatibility, you know. Not everyone wants to buy a PS5. I feel like a game system's a game system. You know, PS5, yeah, sure, the graphics are better, but I mean, PS4 also had good graphics. Sometimes, you know, it's about what you want. You know, some people want good graphics, some people don't. But, you know, sadly a lot of new games might be for the newer game systems, so that's kind of putting me in between a rock and a hard place, because I would love to play some more video games, But at the same time, I don't want to spend the money on a new game console when I already have one that works. Kind of defeats the purpose of just buying one and sticking with it. At least until it needs to be fixed, or at least until you actually want to have upgrades. So, but anyway, I thought this would be a good quick distraction. I'm going to maybe watch an episode or two of Umbrella Academy and fall asleep to that. Tomorrow I am attending a city job fair. So we'll see how that goes. I have some copies of my resume. Granted, I just want something that pays like somewhere close to the mid 5-figure range, because that would really open an opportunity for me to save up and eventually move out and have a roommate, you know. So, looking forward to that. I'm probably just gonna wear some casual, gray slacks and one of my nice white button-up shirts from Columbia, the store Columbia. So, I think afterwards I'll go to the gym and maybe take an Uber somewhere, coffee shop, I don't know. Because yeah, I'm spending money willy-nilly on Ubers, but it's more of investing in my sanity at this point, at least till I get my license. And yeah, once I get my license, and it'll be time to look for a car, and then I have my freedom. Anyway, well, I hope you guys have a good night. I'm also getting sleepy. It's probably the edible hitting me. So, yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow.